What's up, guys? It's Justin back with another Fractal Radio, and today I'm joined by my very special teammates, Victoria and Ludovic from the Fractal team. We're going to do a conversation about our announcement that we're making. Today we're announcing the Fractal NFT Metagame. And so before we dive into that, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what you do on the Fractal team?
Sure, I can get started. I'm Victoria. I'm a product manager at Fractal.
That's it. That's it. She does so much more than you do. So much more than that. That's like saying that's like a one-word answer. But Victoria does everything from like work with partners and understand what the needs of game partners are, to work on the community stuff and to product and the NFT stuff now. So like just really across the map. You're like the brains behind the company. Well, one of them.
Thank you. That's a nice compliment.
Yeah, like that's don't like she's not just a product manager at Fractals. Yeah. So and then Ludovic, please. I mean the other brain behind the company, the biggest brain I've ever met.
I guess I'm a launch engineer, so I take care of all things NFTs. I'm somewhat of a blockchain expert internally, and I take care of special projects like this one.
And literally a physicist. Previous life as a physicist. I like how you have the actual whiteboard with equations. I'm pretty sure he just put that up there to look smarter in team Zooms, but yeah. So Ludovic's been working on kind of all things blockchain behind the scenes. So, all right, what are we like? We launched this Fractal NFT when we started, and Ludovic, I remember we had a conversation on Fractal Radio 9 months ago where you kind of outlined all the thought you put into the distribution of rarities and stuff like that. We had a lot of fun doing it, and then it's kind of sat. Right, and people have wanted to know this whole time, what's it for? What are we going to do with it? So it's pretty exciting news. We now know what's going to happen, what it's for, right? Victoria, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. So like Justin mentioned, last December, we launched the 100K NFT collection as a way to say thank you to the community. And one thing we're really passionate about at Fractal is the power of games being built on blockchain. And what are the net new gaming possibilities that can be enabled by games being built on this technology? And one thing that's really cool and unique about Web3 gaming is that the assets are now interoperable and can be ported across different games. Whereas, in Web2, right, like your in-game achievements or the skins that you bought, they're really locked into the gaming ecosystem that you're in. And so there's no type of communication or interoperability between different ecosystems. And what we thought would be really cool with the Fractal NFT is to make it a cross-game asset where, different players can interact with it, different games can interact with it, and essentially the possibilities will be endless in terms of what people can do with this Fractal NFT. And so what we're really excited to, launch today is really, first step in bringing that vision to life, which is the NFT metagame. So what that means is players can now, or owners of Fractal NFT can now power up these NFTs through a variety of different gameplay activities, which Ludovic will touch upon later. And as a result, they will have their Fractal NFTs, that get powered up over time, and eventually they'll be able to unlock different types of utilities and unique in-game benefits without gaming partners, but also with Fractal. So we think of it as a really cool way to reward people with, based on their gameplay. And the Fractal NFT will essentially serve as a metagame that sits on top of your regular gameplay. And this metagame will tie in all your different gameplay activities together across the ecosystem and reward you accordingly based on that.
Awesome. So it's a game on top of all the games in the Fractal ecosystem, all the partners. We worked with, over 100 partners since we launched so far, and we're building a kind of the meta game on top of that to incentivize people to try different experiences and have our partners reward the players that try their games.
Exactly.
All right. So how does it work? How does powering up work? Let's get into the details. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, exactly to your point, we want people to play games. We want people enjoy the games. So any activity on Fractal will be rewarded. But the core principle is you need the Fractal NFT, the snowflake, and then you need to put that in your Fractal wallet. So that's how we know that the Fractal qualifies for the power up. Then any activity on Fractal, such as like listing, holding, trading, will be rewarded. But we wanted to make sure this is not a pay-to-win game. And to make sure of that, we have weights on how we will reward certain types of behavior. And the one that is the most rewarded right now is actual gameplay. So if you take part in a tournament on Fractal, you qualify like 6 times as much for a power up than if you just trade some assets. So essentially, yeah, if you're engaged with the platform, if you try out games, and you do all of this with your Fractal wallet with a Fractal NFT in it, your Fractal NFT will get powered up.
Gotcha. So can it get powered down, or does power only ever go up monotonically?
Yeah. So that's the big meta game. So every Fractal has a bunch of attributes, but one of them is power. And we created a new attribute that we call the OG power, which is the power your Fractal had at its creation. Your power cannot go under the OG power, and so if you're engaged with the platform, you try a bunch of games, and after a few iterations, you have like a power up of your Fractal. Let's say your power is now at 80, and your OG power is 60. Now. At every week, we will like shave down some power from all the flakes that are powered up, put that into a pool, and redistribute that to the most active players. So so initially there's a power pool that comes out for free, and that allows people to charge up their Fractals. But as time goes on, you were saying that it's all gibberish back there. But this
no, I didn't say that for the record. I'm just saying you put that up there, clearly it'll look like a genius.
Yeah, well, so basically, initially we will give out power for free, but this is finite. There's a finite amount of power that we will give out. And so over time, this power pool will deplete. And people will be, so this, like initially, there's no power coming from other players. And as time goes on, some power will be rewarded to all the flakes, and as such, at the next iteration, there will be a certain amount of power that will be like shaved off of all the flakes, put into the reward pool, and redistributed. So ultimately, the initial power pool will be empty, and people will be competing with one another to get power from other flakes.
Gotcha. So the advantage of kind of coming in early is that there's this positive sum game that you're participating in the beginning.
Exactly. Right now, like the first few like 100 or 1,000 people to join the metagame, if you have like a bunch of snowflakes in your wallet, it's probably just enough to get a power up.
Gotcha. And so our partners that we're partnering with deciding how they power up the people who play the game with the Fractal NFT?
Right now, we don't have such a feature. Right now, we don't have like the proper in-game event reporting system to couple that in the metagame. So that's going to be in a future iteration. So right now, it's tournament participation, because through the tournament platform, we like receive score, and we can process that and determine like how much you were engaged in the tournament. And also, like, you don't have to be in the top 5 to get a power up. You just have to play the tournament. So the more you play, the more rewarded you are. It's not about how good you are.
Nice.
Yeah, how good you are is already
participation trophies for all.
Exactly. But it's going to get harder and harder.
Everyone's a special snowflake. Sorry, I had to say it. So let's talk about the tournament platform on Fractal at all, because like not everyone knows that exists. So like, what are we doing with tournaments, Victoria, and like how are we engaging with partners around throwing tournaments?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we've been doing is that we've been hosting these Web3 gaming tournaments on our platform. And if you come to Fractal, you can check out the upcoming tournaments. You can download a game or play directly in browser, read about the tournament rules, prize pools, as well as being able to see a live leaderboard where you can track your progress and compete with your friends or other members in the Web3 gaming community. And we found that, people love these tournaments, right? It's great for gamers to really explore different games, be rewarded for it, as well as for game projects to reward their community as well as attract net new players. And what we're trying to really do here is bring in like the element of Web2 gaming that people really understand and love, which is competitive gameplay, into Web3 as well. So people get to see how really incredible some of these Web3 games are, right? And that's why with the launch of the Fractal NFT Metagame, we really want to provide additional incentive for people to come in, check out these tournaments, play in it, and also just be rewarded in being an active Web3 gamer.
Awesome. And so now we're doing these tournaments. It's a way to showcase our partners and showcase them to our audience. What are the benefits of, how is the Fractal Metagame going to up-level this?
Yeah, 100%. So there are really two vectors to the benefits that people receive through the NFT metagame. One is from the gaming partners, one is through Fractal, our platform itself. So at launch, as we're launching this Fractal NFT metagame, we will be partnering with a select few partners that will offer unique in-game benefits. And it's going to range from, cosmetics, right, to, unique power-up levels in-game. This way, we want to really reward the most active Web3 gamers by giving them more exclusive access to benefits in-game. And the second part of that equation is really the Fractal NFT benefits, right? And to start off at launch, we'll be hosting weekly power-up competitions where the biggest power movers or gainers will be selected and be rewarded with a mystery box of not Fractal NFTs, but gaming NFTs. And we just think it would be a really cool way to really encourage these gamers to really explore more gaming projects and, really close the loop of their gameplay experience. I do know that, for example, the community has been asking a lot about, hey, what's the Fractal NFT benefit? So, we see Fractal NFT Metagame as a way to provide incremental benefits to our Fractal NFT holders. And rest assured that, if you hold a Fractal NFT, you'll still be eligible to our Fractal NFT benefits that we currently offer, such as, early access to Allow List, access to our streamer program, so on and so forth.
And so where does this go from here? This is like the first step. We're just announcing this, but what are the other ideas that we have on the roadmap?
Mm-hmm. I can take the first part of that as well. And I would say that, for our long-term vision is for Fractal NFT to be an interoperable Web3 gaming asset. Think of it as like a game pass for Web3, right? Where, through a lot of different gameplay activities, you can continuously charge up your Fractal. And over time, we expand the ecosystem of our metagame partners so that, if you have Fractal NFT, you can check out, really awesome games, and chances are you will be able to unlock really unique in-game benefits. So we talked about, benefits such as cosmetics or different power-up levels. There could also be other benefits in the future, depending on what the partners want to offer, such as, exclusive maps, right? Exclusive, or powered up like earning potential. I think all the possibilities are really endless. And so we are really excited to continue to iterate and expand on the benefits we can provide to our end users. And I think one really great way for Fractal NFT holders to stay tuned is to just simply join our Discord. We'll create a separate Discord channel for the NFT metagame. So whenever we sign up a new partner, whenever we have updates to the in-game benefits, we'll post there directly as well. And the second part I wanted to cover as well is that we also want to introduce more competitive elements to the Fractal NFT metagame. So as you know, Fractal NFT is split up into 4 different factions: Tri, Quad, Penta, and Hexa. And over time, we want to provide capabilities for these gamers to track their level up progress against the power pool, as well as to potentially compete with other factions to get access to more rewards as well.
Yeah, well, just to that point, like the split in 4 factions, there is an uneven number of flakes in each faction. And it becomes kind of interesting because we'll be making leaderboards for like which faction grew the most power on average. And that becomes kind of interesting because we all know that the Exa faction is the rarest one, but it's also the faction where the distribution of power is skewed towards 100, and the maximum power is 100. So for the Hexa faction to gain many power points compared to like the Tri faction where the power really ranges from 20 to 100, but like most flakes are around 20, it's easier for the Tri faction to go and climb the ladder. But there are so many Tri-faction flakes that people have to coordinate together to achieve that like massive power up on average. So I think we're going to see like interesting dynamics in like faction against faction. We're thinking also of like having tournaments where, depending on the fractal flake you have in your fractal wallet, when you compete, you're actually competing against other factions and so on. So I think we're going to see a whole bunch of things, interesting things. Also, like the algorithm that powers up the fractal will be iterated upon. So right now it's not a final version. It's going to be an ongoing project. So who knows what can happen with your flake in the future.
Awesome. So if you're competing, there's actually a faction metagame that's kind of built into this as well. So in the future, one of the things we have on the roadmap is to build an API that will enable game partners to power up based on their in-game achievements, right? Like for other players. So talk a little bit about what we're thinking there.
Yeah. So game will have the ability to stream events to us, which will allow us to like reward based on playtime, reward based on certain type of activities, being the first person to discover a zone, for instance, new content in a game, and so on. So this is going to be exciting because right now it's really limited to tournament participation in terms of gameplay. But as we expand the capabilities of our APIs, the game will be able to report to us a whole bunch of different things. And then on our side, we'll have to calibrate those events to make sure that there's not a game that charges your power more than the other game. Like we have to level the play field, right? So that's kind of one of the big aspects that's coming up.
That's awesome though, because then games we can see a whole market for how people want like engage their players, right? And I think we'll see a lot of different types of behaviors between the games and the players evolve over time.
Exactly, and the game, like if they want to participate in the metagame, they have to roll out achievement. They have to roll out more interesting features for the players. So there will not be a button in the game that says power up your fractal and you just hit it for like all day long to power up your fractal. That's not interesting, right?
That's awesome. Cool. So when does this go live? I guess by the time we release this, it's live, right?
Right.
Yep.
And how can people experience this? Like, what's the easiest way for someone to like get started if they have a Fractal NFT?
I would say, create a Fractal wallet, move the Fractal NFT into their wallet, and just start, engaging on Fractal's platform, whether it be playing in tournaments or, transacting their NFTs through mints or secondary sales.
And you have to use your Fractal wallet for this to take effect.
Yep.
Is that right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And don't forget to write down your seed phrase.
Write down your seed phrase. And don't tell it to anyone.
One more thing, if you're a gaming partner and you're really interested in getting involved in the Fractal NFT metagame and want to provide, rewards for our Fractal NFT holders, you can definitely reach out to us. We're open to hearing all your ideas and different ways we can potentially work together. So to just reach out, you can email us at metagame@fractal.is or just reach out to us on Twitter, whichever one's easier, and we'd be happy to have a conversation. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. That was great. And we will see everybody next time. Give us your feedback in Discord about what you think about the new Fractal NFT metagame. And and last question that I know everyone has. When token? I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. All right. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
See you.